All right, folks, as we all know, Major League Baseball and the Players Union do not come to terms on an agreement. Their deadline, extended deadline all the way until 5 p.m. Tuesday, results in no deal. And as a result, no CBA, no baseball, no opening day, and at the very least, the first two series of the regular season are now wiped out. And who knows how much more will be. The story that, of course, came out Tuesday being that, at least the start of the story anyway, with being that the two sides are now going to split apart after 9 straight days of negotiations. 16 straight hours on Monday into Tuesday, negotiating and really getting nowhere as far as the core economic issues are concerned. And they're going to break for, I guess, a couple of days. I saw somewhere that they could resume talks maybe on Thursday, but let's be fair. I mean, let's be honest, folks. Is there going to be a miracle here? Is someone going to wave a magic wand here, and all of a sudden we're going to have baseball here by the end of the week, or that by the end of the week there's going to be an agreement? Probably not. I mean, these two sides have been going at it for almost 2 years. This goes back to 2020. And it was part of the discussion then during the COVID-19 when they were struggling to figure out how to have a season that year. And they could barely come to an agreement on a 60-game schedule. There was, hey, look, folks, remember in 2022, the CBA comes up and there's a chance that we could have a lockout and there may be no baseball. So that was the talk then. And here we are. There won't be baseball to start this season. No spring training. And right now, no start at the very least to the 2022 season. And it's funny because, well, it's not really funny, but it's odd because all this talk that we heard on Monday night into Tuesday was that there was, some positive movement and that, maybe there was an opportunity for both sides to come to terms. But then you saw players on Twitter reposting, like Zach Britton saying, no, not really the case, folks. We're really not as close as you think. And here we are. And of course, when you get down to the economics of it, it can be very, very convoluted. Certainly, a lot of fans aren't going to want to digest all the dollars and cents that are involved. But basically, it's this: the players are pissed off that they're not getting paid more money. They see that the Major League Baseball is bringing in a lot of revenue. They see even in COVID year bringing in a lot of revenue, and their salaries aren't changing as a result, increasing. They wanted to have more money up front. They want to be obviously have a quicker turn to free agency and quicker turn to arbitration. They're upset that they feel the owners have, over the years, manipulated contracts, manipulated service time in order to not have to pay or exorbitant prices on arbitration and eventually in free agency. And, of course, they're upset there are teams that, like the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Miami Marlins, that sit on loads of cash and don't spend any money. And that's what the players are annoyed about, and you can certainly understand that from that perspective. But here they are. The owners came back to the players, another 8-hour day of negotiations on Tuesday, and all the owners would agree on, all the owners would offer for the players was arbitration bonus money that would only go would go from $25 million, their initial offer, to $30 million for this year, and that would increase $5 million per year for the next 5 years of the deal. The players wanted more than that. Players wanted it to start at $85 million and then increase incrementally from $5 million after that. Then you have the competitive balance tax. Owners were steadfast at $220 million, going up to as much as $230 within 5 years. The union, well, they were starting at $238 for this year, and they wanted to end it at $263 million. So, in other words, they were just too far apart, and they're still too far apart, and there's no deal. And this is going to suck for the fans. It sucks big time for the fans because now we're all sitting here holding the short end of the stick here because there's no baseball. Who knows when these two sides are going to come to an agreement? You have, on one end of this, you have Tony Clark and the players who are steadfast in that in their gripe and their concerns that they're not getting paid as much as they should be. Then you have on the other side the owners, led by Rob Manfred, who, let's be honest, Rob Manfred's a guy who doesn't come off as a guy who enjoys baseball too much. I mean, this is a guy who called the World Series trophy a piece of metal a couple years ago. So you have that. And I don't know when we're going to see. I really don't know if we're going to. I don't know when we're going to see baseball at this point. I would think, let's just, if you want to take a look at the glass half full, you want to sit here and say maybe towards the middle part of the month, end of the month, maybe they finally come to, maybe cooler heads prevail. They finally agree on something. Maybe we have baseball late May into early June. That would be great if that were the case. It'd be fantastic. And I know that there was also talk saying that, hey, look, the players need like a month to get ready for a season. Well, you still got to finish the off season first. I mean, we were still in the early days of free agency when the lockdown started. We haven't even finished that. There are a lot of guys like Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo who are still out there as free agents who haven't signed with teams, for that matter. So you got to finish the off season, then you can go to spring training and try to get ready in a month if you want to. So, like I said, the best case scenario at this point, maybe May, June, but that's just my 2 cents from just looking at that. Look at this thing. And it sucks because, let's just take a look from the Met fan perspective. Think of it this way, and it's kind of oddball from the Met perspective. The third straight year, the Mets have had a season that was supposed to begin against the Washington Nationals, and for the third straight year, that series will not happen. 2020, COVID. Last year, that series got rained out. It eventually got made up like in September, but it got rained out. And now this year, because of the lockout. So maybe baseball in the future, maybe they shouldn't schedule the Mets and Nationals to start against one another to start the season. Just an idea. But anyway, from the Met fan perspective, this sucks because you had you have a lot of high expectations. And you probably should still have high expectations if and when we have a season this year. You consider what this team did to start the offseason, going out there, bringing in Max Scherzer on a big contract, bringing in Buck Showalter to be the manager of this team, changing the outlook of the front office with Billy Epler, and the team was starting to feel optimistic that this would be a team that could do some big things in 2022, and now that all gets put on hold. And we have to sit here as Met fans wondering, when are we going to have a season? When are we going to have a chance to see how good this team could be? And that's what hurts from the Met fan standpoint. From the Yankee fan standpoint, they're frustrated because their team didn't even get a chance to do anything this offseason. They made no moves to start the offseason. And that's a team that needs to make some moves. They need help in the pitching department. They needed help at shortstop. They needed at least an answer anyway at shortstop, anyway, one way or the other, whether they wanted to go with someone like a Carlos Correa or just wait for one of their prospects to come up, like Anthony Volpe, who's one of their top prospects. And that now gets put on hold. Everything for every team now put on hold until these two sides decide what they want to do. We have not seen this, obviously, since 1994-95, when the World Series was canceled in 94. And if you look at the history of with these two bodies, the owners and the players, when they have a big disagreement, it has a tendency to carry for a pretty long time. Boy, like I said before, I hope these two sides can figure it out at some point. But today's story, after all the positive talk we were reading about the last couple of days, that hey, something could be happening, could be moving in the right direction. After today, makes you wonder when we're going to see baseball again, and makes you wonder, what are you going to watch now? And that's my question to all of you. What are you going to do now that baseball is on hiatus for the time being? What are you looking forward to most? You're looking forward to March Madness? You're looking forward to the NFL Draft? USFL? Jesus Christ. The USFL, that's coming back, believe it or not. We're having a little 80s throwback there. Minor League Baseball, of course, is going to be played. Even with this lockout, minor league baseball, affiliated ball will be played. Indie ball, of course, will be played as well. So from the local New York standpoint, you'll see your New York, New Jersey standpoint, you'll see your Somerset Patriots and your Jersey Jackals and your Boulders and all those other teams play their baseball. And I'm sure for the fan, They would rather go to a minor league ballpark right now, spend the low family-friendly prices that you see in minor league baseball than you would spending $135 a seat to sit on the third base side in the mezzanine at Citi Field. Okay, that's going to be a big part of this. The fan is going to have a hard time coming back from this. Some fans are not going to come back. A lot of fans will come back. Like I said, we'll come back. We'll talk about this. Obviously, we'll talk about baseball when it comes back. But there'll be a lot of fans who are going to be so angry, they're going to have a hard time coming back to Major League Baseball after this. And this is a sport that right now, you take a look, has struggled in as far as getting eyeballs to the TV sets over the years when you compare it to, let's say, the NFL, which averages 17 million viewers a game in the regular season. Baseball only had 12 million eyeballs for the World Series. Let that sink in for a second. Anyway, folks, not the news we wanted to hear today, but you know what to do. Comment in the comment section below. Leave your thoughts below. Like and subscribe. And we'll talk to you next time right here on the Sports Talk Nation. Over and out.